So since the BTS North American tour was canceled, as a gift to my wife and our friend, I'm going to start watching BTS videos. I've seen some of them in the past, but I haven't made a serious effort to try to understand BTS. This first video, I think, according to my wife, is the recently released Agust D song that came out yesterday. So I'm going to watch this video. Okay. You see the see the cat totes, and the dogs in the background.
Is it picking up?
Oh, I'm sure it is. It's fine. So, you know what I've recognized about BTS, at least as a casual outsider, is they don't do a lot of the, like, I'm a rap star, look at my grill kind of stuff, right? Even though they're at that kind of level, right? Like, I'm sure.
Have you heard Mic Drop?
Well, I'm sure I have, but
no, they don't do that.
But I feel like it's different, right? And that's what he's talking about, right? And that's the duality of him in this video. He's playing two characters. One, right, is a regular person who is living in some kind of, like, you know, Korea reenactment village, I guess. And it's really cool how they've set this all up, though, and it's cool that they got, like, permission, because I doubt this set was, like, built for this video, but it is pretty cool, you know, him playing both characters as the kind of, like, risen to a rank of, like, the king or emperor or whatever, and then, like, here's what it looks like in modern times, right? As a rapper with a backup group behind him dancing and stuff as he raps.
Interesting insight. Thank you.
I like the pacing of that segment of the rap or whatever, where he goes to like the quieter, and then he does like the triplets or whatever on the syllables. I like that. That was cool.
I do too. Well, it kind of reminds me of Arim's part at the end of Dang. Well,
I don't remember.
I don't know if you. Anyway, well, maybe that's the next one. We'll do Ugh and Dang.
It's a big ass sword.
That is a big sword.
So is that supposed to be like? If I remember listening to some other previous BTS songs, that it's supposed to be like their understanding of when you're recognized as like the top in your area or whatever, top of popular music, that the reaction is to execute you for doing something, whatever, for anything. But when in reality, the only way people are crucified like that is because they're on top, right? Like this whole thing of being king or whatever, and then differences between what it would have been like to be, at that level previously, and then in the modern age, it's like, well, let's cut off their heads, right?
I mean, I don't think there's necessarily a wrong answer. I've seen a lot of people say that just this video and specifically is because it's his past self and his former self, or it's his past self and his present self, being that he's executing who, like, the king is, I guess, represents like who he was. He wanted all this stuff, to be the king, to be the top, to be number one.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's, I don't know, potentially accepting and recognizing that this self is the more real version, and maybe saying no thank you to all the things that maybe like what people assume are the higher levels of fame. I don't know, he talks a lot I'm really tired right now, but talks a lot about the he didn't give in to like pill popping and becoming that cliche.
Yeah, it is a cliche.
Like his true self is this more rebellious to the crown.
So his true self isn't to be like a king or whatever. It's to.
I think he's a king. He is the king without that being his goal necessarily. Like at the beginning, their first single was, it starts out with him saying, "I want a big house, big car, and big rings," and like he's brought back that time and time again as time has passed. Talking about that, okay, now I have this stuff, but is this what I wanted at all? Like, is this who I am? Do I even like music? Do I enjoy this? Like, I don't even want that anymore. The higher I get, the bigger my shadow is.
Right. So just kill me, okay.
Just cut off my head. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, I know it's not probably a purpose-built set, but just that they were able to film in this kind of place. I mean, it looks really cool. I mean,
the quality is crazy.
No, I mean, yeah, they put a lot of consideration into like the lighting here, right? Whether it was like they tried to film at a specific time of day so lighting came in, or if they had like even artificial lighting outside. I mean, that's a lot of thinking goes into that, right? It wasn't just by accident how they had the light coming in across his face in this, or even like him when he was walking down the street in the video, right? I mean, that takes a lot of thought and planning, so I definitely recognize that.
They released stills from it, like behind the scene ones,
Mm-hmm.
and they're so good. Just I feel like the artistic direction when it comes to BTS is always really impressive. Also, can we go to like, I think it's 58 seconds? I hope I'm wrong because that's a little too quickly for me to like know that, but is that it? Oh, yeah. Play. I'm sad that, well, I don't know. I knew the number, but like...
Hey, man,
True
you're
fans.
the fan.
That's Army.
You're the fan.
Army life. You know the seconds. It's like 3:33. You'll know one day.
What's 3:33?
You'll get there, my friend.
Okay.
No, I love that they incorporated Jiku, so that's good. Jin and Jungkook. JK.
Jin. Wait, that's Jin and Jungkook. Let me watch this.
It's hilarious. It knocks his fishing pole into...
It is Jin with a little like chin strap.
Mm-hmm. And it knocks the pole into JK's head.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why he punches him.
Love it.
That's such a classic. I love that he did that. I love that he had, yeah.
But where's the other members? What if they get jealous because they weren't in the video?
I know that J-Hope rented out a coffee truck, or like a coffee cart that had like pictures of Suga with like the army bomb headpiece thing on, and it was like a little coffee for everyone on set.
That's hilarious. I mean, look at this is I mean, if I was a Korean emperor or whatever, this is exactly where I'd want to live. I mean, look at this. This is crazy.
It's really beautiful.
Like, your backyard goes up to, like, some pretty good-sized mountains that are all green and stuff.
It's like a movie. The
Yeah.
quality is wild.
It really is. Yeah. This guy looks familiar.
I have no idea.
Do you no idea who the background dancers are?
No.
Okay.
I'm sure that someone knows on the internet and they could tell us.
I hope so.
Did you read the lyrics at all? The lyrics are up on the other tab
On the other tab?
that you asked me to bring
Oh.
up.
Oh, I was wondering what this word was. Daechwita. Daechwita. Literally great blowing. I think it's Korean. Oh, okay, so that's that background that's playing that whole time is that traditional music. Yeah, it sounded like traditional, like the wind instruments with the percussion. Yeah, that's exactly what I noticed. Now I have a name for it. Daechwita. Hey, play it loud. Daechwita. Daechwita. Shwita.
I don't know.
My crown shines, so don't forget the old days. So, okay, so old days, they were poor in the beginning. Don't forget your roots. No, it was the 15th age. Temple of born slavery. Okay, so he's relating it to like being born into poverty and raising up to the highest levels, which I mean I agree they have.
Oh, definitely.
Crown Prince Sato, who died of starvation. Huh, interesting. I was born a tiger, I'm not weak like you at least. Can live like a dog. I mean, it makes sense, right? I mean, if you feel like you're always, you're born into a certain kind of life, right? It can cause you to become, very focused or just naturally focused on making your own success.
True.
Flexing, I don't do it. I mean, I think maybe Suga, Agust E or DT Suga should get like a big like diamond gold grill.
Why? To flex?
Yeah.
He doesn't need to. He just said so. He doesn't have to flex. His actions alone are enough flex. That's the...
Right. I mean, I think that's true of a lot of like artists. When you think of like who's top in like a particular genre outside of like pop music, may be a little bit of an exception, but I feel like people who are like musically and artistically the top, right? You don't know a lot about their personal lives, right? Because that's not what they do. They don't do cool personal lives. They do their music, right? So
sometimes. Well, I think that's one thing that sets apart BTS is that we know, I don't know, I guess just in general, like Korean, the way that the Korean media kind of goes about showing the lives of Korean or idols specifically is really interesting and, I mean, strange maybe from an American perspective because they have TV shows and game shows. They have like the like Idol Olympics and things like that. So you see a lot more behind the scenes with them.
Well, do you think then that BTS is good at that because that's the expectation, or is it something they naturally want to do, right? Like it seems like to me as a casual observer of like their music that there's this like two sides of how they're thinking, right? Like on one hand they recognize the value of being available to their fans, and on the other side, right, they don't want to do it not because they're ashamed of who they are, but because they don't want to be like on all the time, right? Like I think that's a big thing for like your mental health is like being on all the time, always being careful of like, oh, I might be being recorded and stuff, especially what it seems like, at least what you've said about how much content they make. Feel like that would be a stressful life.
And actually, maybe after this, you should watch the song. I'll show you a different video, but it's another like it's Suga's solo for their last album, where he talks about what it's like to get to the top and the weight that comes with that. I mean, the progression of BTS from like starting out is they were supposed to be a hip hop group,
right?
And then they changed their mind, and they have really old vlogs from like way back then.
I liked it, right? I mean, at least this music video, and I feel like any video I've seen, they haven't like, and maybe it's just the Korean style, and I don't know, but they haven't like done the like popular style of like this is a rap music video, but there is no like butt shaking like women, like, you know what I mean? Like it is different than 99% of
they're like the
rap music I listen to.
The Dollar Mendy of Korea. Remember the guy who does the tinik tinik tin?
Yeah.
Like where they said he couldn't like be as popular. I think the story of that video is that he couldn't make a video go viral without having these like scantily clad women, and so he released it and it was just him, like a bunch of them. I mean
honestly, if you I guess more power to you if that's what you want to do, but at the same time it's like if I listen to music, right, it's almost regardless of what the music video is. Like I like music for what it is, and if there's a music video I feel like it should add to the music, not just be like this has nothing to do with the content of my song. It's just like I have nothing to fill in here, so I'm gonna like just put placeholder entertainment in here, right? So I like this kind of music video a lot more.
Well, then you'll like a lot of...
Perfect.
That's another interesting thing about BTS is, which I've already talked to you about this a little bit, would be just the like entire universe, the BU. The Bangtan universe.
I'm interested to see how big their content goes, right? Because you've said that it's like massive.
Oh yeah, it goes deep, buddy.
I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious as like how deep it goes.
You just gotta dive on in. They have like the short films from the Wings era. It's really pretty amazing.
I think the last thing I've noticed, I'll comment on this video, is this line where the clothes I wanted and then money, 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 or money, money. I started singing that one BTS song.
Money,
and then
Blood, Sweat, and Tears.
And then goal, and then what should come next? Yeah, what should come next? I suddenly realize where I am, this current situation where I have nothing above me. It's interesting because for me, this makes this is like personally relevant, right? The concept of like self-actualization, like what happens when you reach all the goals you intended to do, right? You spend years of your life striving for a goal, very big goal, right? Like a life-changing goal. You accomplish it, right? It's amazing. You accomplish it. Well, what happens next, right? He's on top, right? I can relate to, I would not say I'm on top, but...
You're on top.
But I can relate to that, right? Like, I accomplished my goals, and then the concept of self-actualization is actually much harder to actually feel, right? You can understand it. You can say, okay, now I have to learn how to be happy with where I am, because there's no point to try or to get to the next level, right? Because my goal never originally was to get to the next level. I succeeded in my goal. So these lines, to me, I like a lot. Well, I shouldn't say I like a lot. It's not the best.
You can relate.
I can relate to them.
They resonate with you?
They resonate with me because, yeah, it's not...
Well, there's a lot of talk about this in a lot of their recent work because
they have
reached such high levels of fame.
And that's something that, your entire life when you're training, I shouldn't say training, but...
No, they were literally training.
Well, okay, for them, right. Yeah, education and training and practice and, like, working real hard. And then no one has ever prepared you for what happens after you have success, right? That's not a conversation because the entire focus... Because it's not common,
your way up to
right?
It's
not common, I guess, for people to achieve their dreams or something. So yeah, it's like, it's almost like, okay, there's a million self-help books about how to achieve your goals, but how many self-help books are there for what happens once you achieve your goals?
Maybe you should write that. You should watch a bunch of BTS videos.
Maybe.
And then write it. But anyway.
So this is the first video.
Thank you.
I watched the first video I watched for this channel. I've watched BTS videos before, but maybe like once a month. So I am familiar with BTS.
He has a bias. Who's your bias?
Oh, my favorite, I think.
Although we love all, Stan all for sure.
Stan. Took me a while to figure out what Stan was from like Eminem, but my favorite by far is J-Hope. Like, if I had a genie and I could wish in a bottle, like, for one of my 3 wishes, it'd be like, give me the energy of J-Hope.
Yeah.
The
energy.
Don't give me a lot of energy. I just want J-Hope's level of energy. So,
it's yours one day. That can be your next goal.
I hope so. Oh, well, so...
This is going to go straight to our friend who I don't know if she wants her name to be said, but...
I won't say your name unless you give me permission.
But
anyways...
You know who you are and we love you.
Have a good night.